At 800-367-2816. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-367-2816. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-367-2816. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-367-2816 or biglou.com.
Someone released thousands of mink animals being raised on an Iowa farm.
Fencing was cut, pens and nest boxes were destroyed to release the mink, which are raised for their fur. By Friday morning, just over 60% of the mink had been recovered. Farmers say that the mink are not adapted to survival and tend to succumb to elements in the wild. There are about 2 such incidents of mink releases a year. The Animal Legal Defense Fund says that mink farms crowd animals in inhumane and unsanitary cages that can contribute to the spread of disease and are supporting legislation to end mink farming in the U.S. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The World Series has gotten underway in Toronto with the Blue Jays facing off against the defending world champion Los Angeles Dodgers in a best-of-7 series. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. Partly cloudy tonight and chilly, the low dipping down to 44. Tomorrow, passing clouds throughout the day. We are dry. We're cooler with a high of 70. And on Sunday, the clouds do win out with that mostly cloudy day and a high of 68. Rain does arrive on Monday. We could be on and off for the next few days of next week. Cooler also. The first half of the week, high temperatures weighing in around 60. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. The Point. The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornbluth.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union, not in our Columbia studios tonight, still down at the coast, heading back to Columbia tomorrow for the football game between South Carolina and Alabama. We do have the plumber, Josh Cohen, at our studios back in Columbia. No David Shelton. David's still a little bit under the weather and was not feeling up to it this evening to be with us. Hopefully he'll be ready to go and back with us come next week. So we will move on and tonight catch you up on all the scores from across the state and, of course, get reports from reporters who have been covering games across the state of South Carolina all night long tonight. So we look forward to having those folks on with us as we move through the program tonight. We are in the process of getting our scores together, and we'll bring you as many scores as we can as they become available to us. A couple of final scores are in for us already tonight as we check the scoreboard to get things rolling in a big game in the upstate as Dorman wins the region up there, beating Gaffney 20-0. We'll be hearing from a couple of folks covering that game tonight. Billy Baker in particular should be getting to us in just a little bit. Dorman defeats Gaffney, shuts them out by a final score of 20-0. So heck of a win for the Cavaliers, a real bounce-back season for them as they win their region. In the PD, Latta beat Hannah Pamplico tonight, 54-31. So Latta moves to 7-1 on the season. Skis up, we've got the Greenville Hurricanes defeating Asheville Christian 49-7. It was pointed out to me that Asheville Christian, lost their entire school to the hurricane, and they have been borrowing a football field to play their home football games this year. So that's been a little bit tough on them, and tonight they take it on the chin. All right, some other scores. These are from the Midlands as we take a look at the News 19 scoreboard from WLTX in Columbia. Bamberg Earhart 63, Allendale Fairfax nothing, North Central 17, Andrew Jackson 7, Batesburg Leesville 60, Pillion 14, Lamar 53, C.A. Johnson 8, Camden 43, Lancaster 7, Mid Carolina Edgechester 38-35, Eau Claire 22, Columbia High 18, Gray Collegiate 48, Aiken nothing, Hartsville 50, Lakewood nothing, Lee Central 41, McBee 6, W.W. King 48, Newberry Academy 6, Dutch Fork 37, River Bluff nothing, Strom Thurmond 20, Saluda 14, South Florence 57, Lower Richland 7, West Florence 17, Westwood 7, Wagner Sally 20, Williston Elko 8, Wilson Hall 42, Thomas Sumter 12. Good job there, Channel 19, getting those scores together. Let's see what we've got text into us so far tonight. If you got a score, and you can text it to us, and you can do so accurately. Wrong scores are no good. Do so. Our phone number is 803-900-4847, 803-900-4847. Thank you to the folks texting us scores. Carvers Bay, they win their region championship. That's in 1A. They beat Johnsonville tonight 33-14, so Carvers Bay wins their region. It was, let's see here, Yellow Jackets 58, Bearcats 12. Now I just have to determine which Yellow Jackets they are. Is that T.L. Hanna? I'm not sure, but thank you for the text. I do need to know who the teams are. Woodruff beat Chapman 31-10. It was Berkeley over Lucy Beckham 35-0. Hampton County 62, Well Branch 12. Hampton County goes to 7-3, 4-0, and they win the region, the 5-2A region champs. Jalen Singletary had 9 carries, 155 yards, a kickoff return for a touchdown, an interception return for a touchdown. He sold tickets at the gate, and he popped the popcorn at halftime. In other words, he did a little bit of everything. Great showing for him tonight. All right, let's see what else I can pick up here on the score side of things as I look at some tweets maybe. I can find a few more scores. Looks like a final here. Clover beat Nation Ford 21-17. Got a final in on that one. And that's all I can pick up there for now. Let's see if any of our other scoreboards are posting any final scores at this point. Let's see here. Looking for the Rock Hill area scores, and I'm not seeing anything posted up there just yet. So let's try the upstate of South Carolina. We'll check out the WSPA scoreboard from up in Spartanburg and see what they've got for us this week. Let's see. Here we go. High school scoreboard from Channel 7 in the upstate. They're always very good, and they are good again tonight in the upstate. Abbeville 55, Dixie 7, Belton Honeypath 52, Pendleton 22. In the fourth quarter, Daniel 66, Blue Ridge 21. In the fourth quarter, Burns 42, Spartanburg 7. Crescent beat Chesney 45-36. Eastside 42, Wade Hampton nothing. Greenwood 56, J.L. Mann 14. Liberty 40, Landrum 15. That's in the fourth quarter. St. Joseph's beat Palmetto 42-21. Powdersville 42, Carolina nothing. That's in the fourth quarter. Boiling Springs and Riverside, they are tied at 20 in the fourth quarter. Wren defeats Southside 58-0. In the fourth quarter, Westside 41, Lawrence 9. A lot of games in the upstate tonight. Berea 24, Travelers Rest 21. That's a final. Clinton over Blacksburg 48-7. That's a final. Mountain View Prep 48, Broome 12. That's in the fourth quarter. Ware Shoals 28 and CFC 6. Ware Shoals 28, CFC 6. Let me see who that is. Ware Shoals 28, CFC 6. That would be looking for my Ware Shoals schedule here and see who is CFC. Is that Calhoun Falls? Yes, okay. Calhoun Falls Academy or Calhoun Falls Charter. That's what that is. Calhoun Falls Charter. Ware Shoals 28, Calhoun Falls Charter 6. That's in the fourth quarter. And let's see. What else we got here? Easley and Hannah. TL Hannah beat Easley 31-14. Emerald and Fountain Inn are tied at 28 in the fourth quarter. Hillcrest defeated Greenville 45-14. Hillcrest over Greenville, 45-14. Malden beat Woodmont, 49-13. 96 over American Leadership Academy. I think that's what it is. 42-0. 96 with that victory. Let me double check the opponent there. American Leadership Academy. That's correct. All right. Seneca over Pickens, 48-14. That's a final. Let's see what else. Southside Christian beat Christ Church 31-0. Walhalla over West Oak 35-7. And we gave you the Woodruff and Chapman final. All right, those are the scores that we have at this moment. Let's go ahead and go to Monty Dutton so Monty can get home early tonight and get some rest. He's got that Furman Citadel game to go to tomorrow, I'm sure. And Monty, welcome in. And the Red Devils continue to do their thing heading down the stretch of the regular season here.
Corey Fountain won his 60th game at Clinton. That gives him more wins at Clinton than he had at Lamar.
Ooh.
It was maybe a more balanced attack. Javen Cook had 3 touchdowns and 142 yards rushing, but Clinton also had a passing touchdown from Owen. Had a passing to Mason Tinsley from Owen Glenn, and Owen Glenn had a rushing touchdown. And K.J. Vance had a rushing touchdown. So the Red Devils won with ease. They have won 18 straight region games. That's 2 years in the last 2 years in 3A and the 2 years in 4. And the last 2 years in 3A and 2 years in 2A. You can tell that I'm driving down the interstate, can't you? But,
watch yourself.
But it was just Clinton has scored, averaged over 50 points in their last 5 games. They finished the regular season 7-3 and 4-0 in Region 1, 3A. They already had clinched Region 3, 2A, and they are off next week, and we'll wait to see what their playoff pairing is. But it was, it was actually a little bit more balanced attack. Javen scored every other time he touched the ball, but Clinton has a lot of good running backs. And sort of typical of Coach Fountain, of their 4 leading rushers, 2 are seniors and 2 are juniors. But Cook is really a phenomenon. By the way, Clinton had a touchdown. Last touchdown tonight was from Ryland James, whose older brother Bryson is a star at Anderson University. So he's up from the JV game team. Clinton played over 20 JVs. Blacksburg doesn't have a JV program. And that has the value of a lot of Clinton players who are injured early in the season are on the verge of returning. And I'm guessing it'll probably be in the playoffs. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. I would think so. And that's going to make Clinton even more dangerous when they get to postseason play, to have a fully healthy team. Okay, Monty.
They do a good job. thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and I'm anxious to hear all the other scores.
Okay, buddy. Thank you very much. Great having you with us tonight. As always, drive safely there on the interstate. There you go with Monty Dutton and his report on the Clinton win tonight. Let me give you some other final scores now. This from up at WRHI in the Rock Hill area. Do a great job with their scoreboard. Rock Hill beat Catawba Ridge 16-7. In the fourth quarter, Clover leads Nation Ford 21-17. South Point beat Dreer 42-0. York over Richland Northeast 28-14. Fort Mill and Indian Land. Indian Land wins it. Indian Land having a great year. Beats Fort Mill 20-16. Camden over Lancaster 43-21. Louisville 69. Great Falls nothing. Central 47. Chesterfield nothing. Mid Carolina edges Chester 38-35. Cheraw 51. Buford 21. North Central 17. Andrew Jackson 7. Third quarter, Lee Central 21, McBee 6. Fourth quarter, Burns 42, Spartanburg 7. Fourth quarter, T.L. Hanna 31, Easley 6. Fourth quarter, Dutch Fork 37, River Bluff nothing. Third quarter, Westside 34, Lawrence 9. Greenwood over J.L. Mann 56-14. If I'm repeating any scores, just bear with me here. We're using multiple scoreboards, so sometimes scores get repeated. Irmo 48, Chapin 6, White Knoll 23, Lexington 6. That was a fourth quarter score. In the fourth quarter, Sumter 34, Ridgeview 29. In the fourth, Spring Valley and Lugoff Elgin deadlocked at 14. West Florence 17, Westwood 7. South Florence 57, Lower Richland 7. In the fourth, Somerville 42, West Ashley nothing. In the third, Cane Bay 42, Goose Creek 7. In the fourth, Stratford 42, Wando 6. In the third, Fort Dorchester 49, Stall 25. In the third, James Island 20, Ashley Ridge 7. Hartsville 51, Lakewood nothing. Daniel 66, Blue Ridge 21. Those are finals. Darlington 28, Crestwood 20. That was a third quarter score. Okay, let's get to the first break of the show. We'll come back with some more scores for you, and we'll have more reports. I see that the bad boy is standing by. Must have finished up before 10 o'clock tonight. So the bad boy, Alan Smothers, on the Loris game tonight. That'll be coming up after the break. More scores and more reports. This is the high school football scoreboard across the state, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Be right back.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program. Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Welcome back, everybody. High School Football Scoreboard, Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Understand we have a hot call. Billy Baker standing by on the field at Dorman High School. Cavaliers took care of business tonight in a big way against Gaffney. Let's go to Billy Baker, High School Sports Report. Go ahead, Billy.
Phil, I'm standing on about the 3-yard line with a very excited Jake Morrison, his third year as head coach at Dorman. He played here at Dorman, was on our All-State team in 2010 as an offensive lineman. Tonight, I don't know when Gaffney was offered last or not. I've been trying to get our research guy, Gerald Doolittle, on it, but it's been a long time since Gaffney High School was offered in a game. It happened because Dorman had great offensive line push, and they won the battle of the running game tonight, and they win 20-0, and they win the region title, and that's vital for 4 playoff seedings. I'll let Coach Marsh tell you all about the game, but his number 5 had 2 interceptions tonight in the red zone, a very key player on defense. And he's got a freshman running back here by the name of Carter Nash, who scored Dorman's last touchdown, 20-yard run where he broke about 5 tackles with 2:55 to go in the game. Remember the name Carter Nash. He's one of the best freshman prospects in our state. I give you Coach Morris live from Dorman High School talking about one of his best wins in his 3 seasons as head coach at Dorman. And get this, Dorman High School is 4 points away from being 9-0 right now. Losing to Greenwood by 1 and losing to Spartanburg in the last 5 seconds by 2 points. I give you Coach Morris.
All right. Thank you, Billy.
Bill.
Coach,
hey,
good evening.
How you doing?
Hey, congratulations. How you doing? How are you doing?
Oh, man, ecstatic. It's a big win for our program, and then, our guys just played their tails off tonight. So anytime you can do that, especially with Gaffney, it's always a big opponent for us. So just absolutely ecstatic tonight.
Well, no question about the importance of that win. Let's talk about the defense. You cannot say enough, I'm sure, about your defense tonight.
No, those guys, they played hard from start to finish. I think our defensive line dominated there in the trenches, and we played without one of our best defensive linemen tonight. He was out due to injury, and so had guys step up, and just really proud of those guys. Linebackers played really hard too, and then Tavion Anderson, our kid that's going to Clemson in the spring this semester, just played lights out, and Jabez Thomas had some big interceptions, and Tyler Edwards had some big interceptions. So just really proud of the way our defense came out. They bent a little, but they never broke.
How many interceptions did y'all have tonight?
We had 3.
Had 3 interceptions. Okay. So game plan-wise, going into this game, knowing what Gaffney can do, what they like to do, what was some of the things you and your coaches worked on to get ready defensively?
I think the whole deal all year is we just got to win the trenches, and I think that was our biggest goal tonight. And game plan going into it, we knew Gaffney had some really good offensive linemen there, and had a really good run and attack. Their quarterback runs the ball extremely well. Running back plays really hard and really good zone back, and just had to take that stuff away from them and eliminate big plays. And that's really where we finished at, and our guys came out here and executed it to a T.
So you played on that 2009 Dorman State Championship game. You were a team captain on that team, and I mean, look, you still have a lot of work to do this season with the postseason around the corner, but to win the region championship kind of signals, you think, that Dorman football, the transition, took a little bit of time to get worked out as you went through a couple of coaches. You kind of feel like this puts the stamp on Dorman football being back to where it was?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. And we still got to beat Eastside to seal it up, to be completely, win it outright and be done with it. But and that's a good football team, so we got another challenge next week to come out and do it. But just it does. I mean, it's a lot of work that's been put into this. Our guys have been faithful to us. They've stuck with us in the world now where you can lose somebody any minute and all the crazy stuff going on in high school football. And, our guys, we had two pretty rough seasons here the first 2 years, and knew we were building something special. They bought into what we were doing in the process it took to get there, and then the proof's in to put into what they're doing now.
No question about that. Congratulations to you once again. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and good luck to you the rest of the way. Appreciate you jumping on with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Coach Jake Morris over at Dorman High School. Yeah, Dorman went through quite a rough transition from, the last couple of coaches turned over kind of quickly, as I recall, and now a couple of years ago, named Coach Morris as he was on the staff. They promoted him to the head coaching position, and obviously he's now doing a terrific job. And he's got blood, sweat, and tears in that program, having played at Dorman before going on to North Greenville and playing there. Like I mentioned, a former team captain and a member of a state championship team. So he's got a lot of buy-in in that program. And thank him for joining us tonight. Let's see. Boy, I'd like to get to Alan Smothers, but I don't think we have time. We're into the last 30 seconds before the break. So, Bad Boy, if you'll hold on, we'll get to you right after the break, and we'll get to the others who are standing by to join us here on the high school football scoreboard. And while we get ready to go to break, let's see if there's any other updates we have on some final scores that we can pass along to you that we didn't have before. We do a refresh here. Let's see. Barnwell beat Edisto 20-6. Not sure if I mentioned that before or not. Camden 43, Lancaster 7. South Point over Dreer 42-0. Gray Collegiate 48, Aiken 0. Irmo 48, Chapin 6. We'll be right back.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
By the way, before we do what's supposed to happen here, thank you for pushing the button. I thank you. Programming thanks you. America thanks you.
Stationary at the Central Caribbean area, with forecasters warning it could soon strengthen and brush past Jamaica as a powerful hurricane. Catastrophic flooding and landslides are likely in southwest Haiti in the coming days. This is SRN News.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to health care. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and co-payments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal thing. It's a community of people helping each other, business owners, pastors, retirees. People love it. MediShare 65 Plus.
This Panther Update is brought to you by UNC Charlotte.
The Panthers will look to keep their perfect October intact as they host the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers Update after this.
Charlotte's momentum has a name, UNC Charlotte, 32,000 students strong, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities, recognized at the highest level for research, unmatched access to Fortune 500 companies, built for a top-tier city. This isn't typical higher ed. The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
Panthers are undefeated at home and on a 3-game winning streak overall as they host Buffalo on Sunday. The Bills are coming in off a bye week and dropped their previous 2 games, come to Charlotte with a 4-2 record. Of course, they're led by quarterback Josh Allen, the reigning MVP of the league. Panthers rookie edge rusher Nick Scorton on Allen's ability to play quarterback and also run the ball physically.
Even just because he's a quarterback, but he's the size of a D lineman or outside linebacker, like he's just physical. Like when you got a guy who wants to go out there and put his shoulder down, he's just a competitor, and he wants to do whatever it takes for his team to win, and I just ultimately respect that, and I'm excited to go out there and play against him.
The Bills are the top rushing team in the NFL with James Cook and with Josh Allen. Panthers are 3rd overall in rushing yards. The return of defensive tackle Ed Oliver last game improves the Bills' defense, as Panthers offensive tackle Ike Ekwonu knows.
I mean, he's definitely I guess you can say kind of like a spark plug. He's a guy you could tell gets a lot of freedom and kind of play how he wants, and he goes out there and uses his skill set to make plays. So definitely a solid guy.
Buffalo is ranked 31st in stopping the run. They do lead the all-time series versus Carolina 6-2. I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
This Panther Update has been brought to you by UNC Charlotte, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
Greg is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. 8 years ago, I just didn't feel like I was on my game. I started taking Prevagen, and I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Game day isn't complete without repping your team. Whether you're in the stands, at home, or tailgating with friends, NFLShop.com has the gear every fan needs. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and sideline styles straight from the pros to you. Fresh arrivals drop all season long, so you'll always stay game day ready. Fan like a pro and shop now at NFLShop.com.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard. It's brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. More scores coming up, but we've made him wait long enough. It's bad boy time here on the high school football scoreboard. The voice of high school football in the PD Grand Strand, the game of the week, the game of the year, the game of the century. It's all owned by the bad boy, Alan Smothers, who was at Loris tonight doing Loris football. What you got for us, bad boy?
Well, you made a wise decision, Corn, not going to me with 30 seconds left in the half hour.
Yeah.
Because I can't say, hi, how are you, in 30 seconds.
Yes.
So, but no, I don't mind. I've found that I can listen on hold. The plumber has put me on hold. I can listen just fine. It was fine. And I was in a bad spot on Highway 31 anyway, so. But to the matter at hand, Loris, as Greg Mann said, is the best offense in the state in 3A. They might be the best offense in this part of the state, regardless of classification. Hal Moon Gerald, Zamir is his real name, but they call him, his grandmother named him Moon. Moon Gerald. How he's not in one of the All-Star games is like I said, I got 3 things, and I'll get off. Moon Gerald is the best quarterback I've seen since the kid from Myrtle Beach who went to Notre Dame, and his name's escaping me right now, but he's amazing. The kid throws darts, and he's got 5 wide receivers, the Sherman brothers, Roderick Pershaw, Malik Bell, and the kid is just amazing. And they have the best nicknames in the state. Everybody has a nickname. Moon Gerald. The running back is Douche. Bethea. Douche Bethea. Then they got the kicker has a nickname. His name is Jagger Suggs, and he's terrific. And then they have Grim Lewis, Jacobian Lewis. Now, all 5 of those wide receivers could play Division I football anywhere. People are missing out. Now, but Moon Gerald should be in an all-star game somewhere. That kid is amazing. Loris is the best offense I've seen in years. I mean, years, since the great Myrtle Beach days. And I know they got a problem with Oceanside Collegiate in the playoffs. That's who they lost to last year. But I think they got something for Oceanside Collegiate this year. And finally, Laura's big win tonight against Marlboro County, who's really good. Marlboro County is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So 49-14 was the final. And it really wasn't that close.
That is very impressive. Yeah, Loris is – you talk so much about their offense, though. Their defense has been really, really good in recent years.
Yeah.
Has it not?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Demarie Furman is an all-state defensive lineman, 6'3", 300 pounds. Everybody wants him. I think he did make the North-South All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fabulous. They got like 3 defensive linemen that are all-state. I think they had 4 all-state players in 3A last year. Dude, this team is then not to be messed with.
Just like the bad boy, not to be messed with.
Damn right.
Safe travels on 31. Watch your speed. And let's do it again next week.
Well, I'm off. This is my last game.
Oh.
We're off next week. So I may go to Socastee St. James, so I might call you from there. But then again, you got the doing the games for me. So
you got it, my friend.
I may do it. Give you a call. Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you. As always, thank you
Love
very
you,
much.
Lord.
You too, buddy.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you. All right, take care. Safe travels. Were you trying to drop in some bad boy music there?
Yeah, he didn't even notice it. He didn't even make a notice to it. It's all right.
Well,
though.
what you've got to do now, you've got to have an intro ready for him next time he calls.
Well, he may even be on the line still. Let's see.
No, he's gone.
No, he's here.
gone.
I am.
Yeah, he's here.
Go ahead and play his theme song.
Well, I mean, I just clipped a little bit of it, but little MJ
works for me. All right, thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Gord.
See you,
All
buddy.
right, buddy.
Take care. All right, let's give you scores from the Low Country, the Charleston Low Country area from WCSC, Channel 5 Scoreboard. Philip Simmons, 21, Timberland 7. Berkeley, 30. Lucy Beckham, 9. James Island, 30. Ashley Ridge, 20. Somerville, 42. West Ashley, 14. That is a region championship clinching win for the Green Wave, 8-0 in the region. Stratford, 30. Wando, 28. Fort Dorchester, 64. Stall, 6. Fort D's come back. They're 5-4 this season. At one point, I think they were not looking so hot. Bishop England, 28. Bluffton, 24. Bishop England takes over first place in their region. Hilton Head Island, 44. I've never called it Hilton Head Island before. Hilton Head, 44. Colleton County, 6. Hanahan, 43. North Charleston, 8. Andrews, 40. Burke, 6. Woodland, 56. Academic Magnet, 7. Woodland is 7-2. Cross, 52. Bethune-Bowman, nothing. Cross is 7-2. Military Magnet 46, St. John's 7. Man, I can remember when St. John's was just a powerhouse. They are 0-9. Baptist Hill 32, Scotch Branch 28. Portugal 49, Cardinal Newman 7. Northwood Academy 28, Augusta Christian 6. Pinewood Prep 45, First Baptist 14. Colleton Prep 38, Dorchester Academy 12. Okay, there you go. Scores from the Low Country. Let's go to, who would be next on the list? What number?
We got
1, 2,
Mr.
3, 4.
Justin Mathis.
Justin's moving up in the world. We start calling him Mr. Justin Mathis, covering Dorman tonight. Tell us more about the Dorman win tonight, Justin.
I tell you what, Phil, this is just it's a little chill in the air. It's the time of the year you want to be playing football at your best football at the right time, I should say. But you don't have to be proper. I'm just a little guy from little old New Prospect, South Carolina, up here in the northern Spartanburg Metroplex. But great night for the Cavaliers on senior night. So all throughout the game, different senior groups were recognized. The marching band, color guard, the cheerleaders, the Bluebells, the Dorman Bluebells. The football seniors marching, everybody. It was just a great night. A great crowd on hand on both sides for the Indian faithful and the Cavalier faithful. But Phil, this game was just a defensive slugfest. It was just a back and forth kind of game. It felt very old school, and I loved it, honestly. I know everybody's in love with the high-flying offenses nowadays, but I love an old-school game every once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
But the offensive line for Dorman was just tremendous. They did what they had to do in the trenches against the Gaffney defensive front. Defensively for Dorman, goodness, I don't know what else to say about Jabez Thomas, the cornerback for the Cavaliers. He is a junior, and he already has 7 interceptions on the season. At one point earlier this year, he had 3 interceptions in a span of 6 quarters, including 2 in the Burns game, including the 30-yard pick six. But also the freshman Carter Nash, that young man has really come along as the season has progressed. He's really settled in. He's become that third running back in the stable that Dorman has. He's become that hybrid. He can be a bully or he can be a speedster depending on the situation, to go along with Nick Means and Isaac Tate, who each did a good job. Nick Means took the handoff around the left side in the game, scored the first touchdown on I believe it was 19-yard jaunt around the left side, put Dorman up 10-0 early in the second quarter. That was Nick Means' 16th total touchdown this year, 15th on the ground. And I mentioned Jabez Thomas, the 7 pick. Also, let's see here. Number 19, Kylan Edwards had an interception. Gaffney got into the red zone in the second quarter, and he dropped back into coverage and baited the Gaffney quarterback into a throw, picked it off, returned it out to about the 35, 40-yard line. But all in all, just a great night for Dorman to pitch a shutout against Gaffney. This was the first time Gaffney's been shut out since the 2016 season against the Bowling Springs Bulldogs, when Bowling Springs won on that run that they had that year. So this is the first time in roughly 9 years that the Tribe has been shut out. But also, Region 2-5A, there's that tiebreaker, Phil, is the point differential after the third quarter amongst the tied teams. Dorman was up, I believe it was 13-0 after the third quarter. So now with the win, Dorman vaults into that lovely catbird seat for the region crown. Got to go take care of business on the road against Eastside next week.
They do that, they win the region, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay. Hey, Mr. Mathis, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Great weekend to you. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Go Cavs.
All right. Thank you very much, Justin Mathis. Everybody in Dorman land is happy. Everybody in Spartanburg land is not happy. It's now final. Burns over Spartan High, 42-7. Everybody over there in Duncan is happy because Burns won big over one of their rivals. I mean, they're all rivals. Burns, Spartanburg, Dorman, Gaffney. Take your pick. When those four start rotating their games amongst each other, it's always one of the big games of the state. It's always big rival. Kind of like in the Rock Hill area back when Rock Hill was really good, and maybe they'll get back to that. You have Northwestern, you have South Point, you have Rock Hill, and whenever one is playing one of the others, it's always a big game. If Rock Hill gets back to that level where they're very competitive. We should go to our next break, and then we'll come back with more of our reports. We've got Hugh Gray standing by for Newberry, Willie Johnson on Battery Creek standing by, Thomas Grant with Dutch Fork tonight standing by. Of course, this is just a warm-up tonight with Dutch Fork and Irmo playing tonight, not each other. They play each other next week, which without question is going to be the biggest game in the state and one of those big regular season games that only comes along every so often. That's how big that will be. We'll be back.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Marv Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
All right, let's get through as many of these reports as we can. Then we'll come back after the top of the hour and take you around the state with all the final scores. We've got practically everything in across the state. So we'll get to all that after we hear from more reporters out in the fields tonight. Thomas Grant watched Dutch Fork take care of business tonight, building up to that big one next week, 37-0 over River Bluff. Hello, Thomas, and wrap it up for us with Dutch Fork.
Yeah, really not that much to wrap up, although starting off with, going into this game, the storyline was this was like the first time in 10 years that Coach Perry Parks is now at River Bluff coached against Tom Knotts. The last time they met was actually 10 years ago. As you remember the 1,000-year flood, in the days afterwards, when he was at Ridgeview, he led Ridgeview to a 28-21 win over Dutch Fork. And that's only like one of two region losses Dutch Fork has suffered since then. And really, but tonight, after the first quarter, it was basically all Dutch Fork. I mean, for the most part, it was just a domination up front. The ground game really, just how dominant it was. Kyle Henry, he rushed for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. His 136 yards was 3 yards more than the entire River Bluff offense produced the whole night.
Oof.
I mean, up front, they really, River Bluff, other than their first series, which ended with a missed field goal, they really had difficulty moving ball the entire night, and Dutch Fork basically was just methodical on the ground. Jackson Knott ended up throwing for 190 yards. He threw a touchdown pass to Stone Fleury. And also Dutch Fork had a defensive touchdown on a 45-yard interception return by Kareem Dupree that made it 34-0 at the time. And then Bradley O'Leary, the kicker, he had a career night for himself. He ended up having 3 field goals of 24, 48, and 26 yards. But outside of that, and then it was basically like you said, probably just a warm up to what's going to be facing next week, which is really going to be an interesting matchup. Because you look at Dutch Fork and their offensive line, led at center by Brody Lorenzo. Those guys will go against a very difficult and very challenging defensive line with Nate Carson, Jaden Bride, and Major Taylor Vermo. So that's really going to be something next week. I mean, the district has already put the word out to get tickets early. And for that matter, not only that, get passes early as well. They're only giving out about at least 250 passes for that game. And it's at W.C. Hawkins Stadium. So it's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be a while since that stadium, you could say, has really been sold out like it's probably going to be next week. But the Battle of Irmo is definitely going to be something that's really then it's sort of way the format sets up where both of these teams are probably most likely going to get a first-round bye. Don't be surprised. They're not going to be holding back anything in this game because they know they're going to have an extra week to get ready for the first round.
Yeah. All right, Thomas, thank you so much, man. Tell folks where they can read your stories tonight and leading up to that big showdown next week.
Yeah, you can check me out at Irmo News, also in Cola Daily as well with weekly roundup as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Thomas. Great weekend to you, man.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's go to Hugh Gray, voice of Newberry, and the Bulldogs getting ready for the postseason run after a great regular season that they've had, and they put it up big tonight on Keenan, Hugh, 37-6.
Yeah, but the story of the game tonight was next man up. Phil, last game, starting quarterback Kenton Caldwell was hurt. We figured he would would spend most of this game on the bench, and he did. He spent all of it on the bench, but his replacement was ninth grader Sincere Glimp, who came in and played a heck of a game. Newberry scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. The first touchdown, Jordan Holiday scores on a 15-yard touchdown run. Then B.J. Jones scores a 5-yard touchdown. Now, B.J. Jones had been injured earlier in the year, had come back 2 weeks ago against Fox Creek. Not long after this touchdown, B.J. re-injured his ankle. So he goes out, and it's a ninth-grade quarterback starting in his first start, a running back in Jordan Holiday that we had not seen yet. That's the main backfield for the Bulldogs the rest of the way. All Glimp does is hit Jameer Crooks on a wide receiver screen, and Jameer takes it 48 yards for a touchdown. Sincere calls his own number for a 5-yard touchdown, and there was a missed PAT in there, so at half it's 27-0 Bulldogs. Keenan comes out with intentions of making this a game. In their first drive, they score. There's a 28-yard touchdown pass from McMillan to Hollis to pull it to 28-6. They went for two, didn't make it. A little bit later, a long drive by Newberry ends in a field goal by Eric Rubio. And then late in the fourth quarter, a touchdown from Sincere Glimp to Jason, what's his name? Jason Dunbar. And that ended the scoring 37-6 for Newberry. Newberry goes to 9-0 and looks forward to Swansea at Mike Ware Field next week.
So you had that 37-6. Okay, that's what we have. 37-6 over Keenan. And Newberry already having clinched the region, I would imagine?
Well, Swansea and Silver Bluff both are 2-1, I believe. So if depending on how they came out tonight, possibly, if Newberry wins next week, there's obviously no doubt about it.
Yeah, Swansea won tonight. And let's see if we got a Silver Bluff score in here right now. Looking. I have to get back to you on that. But Swansea did win their game tonight over Fox Creek, 24-13.
Okay, so that, I guess if Newberry can pull the game out next week against Swansea, despite that win, then it's Newberry's undefeated in the region. If Newberry goes down, it could possibly be a three-way tie at the top with three teams 2-1.
Okay, Hugh, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Let's go to, can we squeeze in Willie Johnson? Willie, down the low country, Battery Creek, Orangeburg, Wilkinson, all OW tonight, right?
Yes, indeed. It was all Orangeburg, Wilkinson tonight. And, of course, Orangeburg, Wilkinson was staring 9-0 in the face for the first time in quite some time. The Bruins came out all guns a-blazing, and they came away with a 48-8 win over the Dolphins of Battery Creek. And with that win, that sets up the Region 6 Class 3A championship against that ever-powerful team out of Mount Pleasant. I'm talking about those Oceanside Collegiate Land Sharks. And it's also going to be senior night at Orangeburg Wilkinson High School. All of Bruin Nation will be there, so come on out. I encourage them, come on out, and let's cheer this team on.
Great job, Willie. Good stuff. Hey, make sure you call us next week. Give us that story on OW and Oceanside Collegiate. We appreciate that. Big win, 48-6. Make that 48-8 for the Bruins. Be right back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged the United States earlier today to expand sanctions on Russian oil from 2 companies to the whole sector and appealed for long-range missiles to hit back at Russia.
The discussions aim to step up pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has resisted peace negotiations. They aim to add momentum to measures in recent days that have included a new round of sanctions on Russia's vital oil and gas export earnings. The talks come after Russia's defense ministry reported downing 111 Ukrainian drones overnight, and Ukrainian authorities said Russian artillery struck a residential block in Kherson, killing 2 people and injuring 11 others. Lawrence Brooks, London.
The Social Security Administration's annual cost of living adjustment will go up in the new year.
The announcement was meant to be made last week, but was delayed because of the federal government shutdown. Some seniors say the Social Security Administration's cost of living adjustment won't help them much in paying for their daily expenses. Recipients got a 2.5% cost of living adjustment, or COLA, boost in 2025 and a 3.2% increase in 2024. The smaller increase for next year reflects moderating inflation. Marcela Sanchez, Washington.
The military is sending an aircraft carrier to the waters off South America in the latest escalation of military firepower. A Pentagon spokesman confirmed that the USS Gerald R. Ford and its strike group would deploy to the Southern Command region to bolster U.S. capacity to detect, monitor, and disrupt illicit actors and activities that compromise the safety and prosperity of the United States. The USS Ford is port in Croatia. Not clear how long it would take for the strike group to arrive. New York Attorney General Letitia James scheduled for trial in January after pleading not guilty earlier today to federal charges accusing her of lying on mortgage papers to secure favorable loan terms. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865.
Reports from Lithuanian officials indicate that Russian military aircraft briefly flew into its airspace last night. More from correspondent Lawrence Brooks.
2 Spanish fighter jets, which had been doing NATO air policing missions, were scrambled to the area. The Russian Su-30 jet and Il-78 refueling aircraft then flew away after roughly 18 seconds. Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda condemned the breach.
This is cruel violation of international law.
Russia's defense ministry has since denied that their aircraft had entered Lithuanian airspace. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
A long-hidden Picasso portrait of Muse Dora Maar has sold for 32 million euros at an auction in Paris. The vividly hued portrait had remained out of view for more than 8 decades in a family collection. Auctioneer Christophe Lucien called Friday's sale to a buyer in the room an enormous success. Breaking news and analysis found at townhall.com.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. Partly cloudy tonight and chilly, the low dipping down to 44. Tomorrow, passing clouds throughout the day. We are dry. We're cooler with a high of 70. And on Sunday, the clouds do win out with that mostly cloudy day and a high of 68. Rain does arrive on Monday. We could be on and off for the next few days of next week. Cooler also. The first half of the week, high temperatures weighing in around 60. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. The Point. The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornbluth.
We are back, hour number 2, the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union across the state of South Carolina, just like the High School Football Scoreboard. Phil Kornbluth from our coastal studios tonight, and we have the plumber, Josh Cohen, at our studios back in Columbia. Going to run through all the scores in just a moment. Let's get back to a couple of guys been waiting to join us. Matt Smith on the call tonight. Homecoming for those feisty Socastee Braves. No Hunter Renfroe appearing for homecoming as the homecoming king. Yet the Braves find a way to win tonight, Smitty.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Hey, that was Josh's doing, not mine.
Hey, tough. Hey, absolutely tough sledding for Socastee. But one of the great things, no Hunter Renfroe, but Hayes Hardwick over 100 yards receiving yet again. That's a name to remember. But,
Yeah, it's been tough sledding for Soxie this season, but one of the great things about covering high school football is you see these teams grow and change throughout the season because players start to emerge, and Sockasty got 150 yards rushing on 30 carries tonight by a freshman, Elijah Owens. So Elijah Owens joined the rotation a couple of weeks ago. Sockasty was just searching for a run game, and they didn't want to pull the freshman up and name him as the starter, even though he looks like he's 235 pounds, looks like a Brahma bull, looks like he's got a lot of talent and a lot of potential. But they gave the veterans their shots, and then they worked the freshman in slowly and finally really unleashed him. This is his third start tonight, unleashed him. 30 carries. He had 105 yards in the first half as Soxie took a 14-0 lead into halftime and never looked back, winning 38-19. And, yeah, as difficult a year as it has been, Sockasty still has a door. There's a window to make the playoffs with a win over their rival, St. James, next week. And look, the Beach region is kind of crazy. Carolina Forest is going to win that region. They did. They claimed first place tonight. They're going to win that region 2 years in a row. But there could be a three-way logjam at third place if Soxie can win next week. And if that happens, you start talking about point differential and all kinds of things. And we'll have to consult some of our experts like David Shelton on those things. But cross that bridge when you get to it. But what you take away from tonight is that Soxie hasn't quit on this season. And even though it's only one region win, it leaves them with an opportunity to make the playoffs with a win next week. They get St. James, their rival, at home at the reservation. So despite Sockasty, suffering through a long losing streak.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Despite the fact that Soxie hasn't won a lot of games this year, and Conway's been down as well. They've been struggling. But Sockasty doesn't beat Conway very often, do they? I don't recall them doing it very often over the years. No. So they had to feel good about the fact that they got a win over a team that probably used to pound them pretty regularly.
It is. It does feel good. Look, there's a lot of emotion. All of these games inside the Beach region. Every week I talk to the head coach, Ben Hampton. There's always a story about who you're playing because Sockasty and Myrtle Beach go back. You're playing Mickey Wilson's team, Sockasty, and next week St. James is a team that was a school that was split off from Sockasty. I drive by St. James every time I go call a game at Sockasty because they're right there together, paired together on 707. And, yes, Conway and Sockasty go way back. As I said on the broadcast tonight, anybody that's lived in Sockasty for a long time or in the area, you got to go to a parking ticket fixed in Conway. It's Horry County's county seat. We've all been there. All roads lead to Conway. It's where the river and the ocean meet, Conway and Sockasty. So there's stories that go a long way back, and every week there's a lot of emotion in the games in this Beach region, and tonight was no different. So you're absolutely right. Even though coming into the game, both of these teams had struggled and were scuffling in a little bit, both teams came ready to play, and there was a lot of emotion. There were a few flags thrown early as well, but you're absolutely right about that. Just intensity every week in this region.
All right, Smitty, great job as always, my friend. Have a great weekend. You got nothing to do. Sit back and chill. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, I'm sure you won't leave me alone, but I'm looking forward to your story tomorrow, Alabama, South Carolina.
The Gamecocks' shocking victory over – what would be a good headline if the Gamecocks win? Cock shock.
I think no, all right, look, that's the delay. Josh, that's the 10-second delay. Use it. Use it now.
That's not – I didn't say anything untowardly.
No, you didn't, but I'm just going to tell you if South Carolina wins tomorrow, I'm afraid you're going to have to work Mike Shula's name into the headline. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, buddy, have a great weekend. Talk to you. Probably tomorrow. All right, see you later. All right, Matt Smith, great job, Sockasty. Hey, man, it's been a tough season. It's at the end of the season. You give those kids credit and that coaching staff credit. They haven't quit, and they played a long-time rival that's, probably got a very lopsided margin of domination over them over all the years, and they rose up and found a way to win tonight. So congratulations to Socastee. Great job there. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell over there with Woodruff, a team that is used to dominating people, and did so tonight, 31-10 over Chapman. Good evening, Garrett. Great to have you with us.
Oh, good as always, Phil. Tell you what, Wolverines were a little bit flat tonight. I think if you would ask anybody there coming off the big emotional win against Mountain View, just the offense really didn't click quite as well tonight. The defense was exemplary. But, hey, mathematically clinched the region championship tonight. First region title for Woodruff since 2015.
Wow. 25th been that long?
10 years. 10 long, excruciating years.
Uh-huh. Yep. Tell us a little bit more about what they did from your perspective on the sideline, holding the chains in proper order.
Yeah, absolutely. Aiden Gibson had another big night. Tweaked his ankle a little bit in the first half, but he was okay. He taped it back up, came back in, had a big second half, finished with, and I haven't added the stats up yet. I'm about to work on that. But probably around between 150 and 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. Long touchdown pass from Connor Davis to Dre Jenkins was the final touchdown. Chapman actually got their lone touchdown of the night with about 2 minutes to play on a 98-yard scoop and score. So, great job by the defense for Woodruff. Chapman, credit to them, played really hard. And the Wolverine defense is just a little bit too much. Chapman probably had under 100 yards of total offense.
Dominated, huh?
Yeah, really did. And it was a night where when the offense sputtered a little bit, they were a little bit flat, the defense really stepped up. Coach Sloan talks all the time about playing complementary football. You really saw that from the defense tonight.
Yeah. All right, and what's up next week?
Next week, end of the regular season, we go on the road to Union County. And following that, we already pretty much know who we're playing in the first round. By virtue of Walhalla beating West Oak tonight, it will be West Oak coming to Woodruff in 2 weeks.
All right, Garrett, we thank you as always. Hope that the chain crew had a good night. No controversy over there. And we'll talk to you next time.
Good night for us.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Sounds good, Phil. Talk next week.
Take care, man. All right, congratulations to Woodruff getting a region championship. I think he said for the first time in 10 years they clinched the region championship. All right, let's hit the break, and we'll come back with a whole bunch more here on the high school football scoreboard. Just about got all our scores plotted on our sheets from all across the states. And during this break, we're going to fill in a couple of more holes. Got more reports to get to. Got a special guest coming up from Touchstone Energy as well. So we'll talk to that individual about his area of the state, about the game he was at tonight, and about Touchstone Energy and the upcoming Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl. That's coming up after the break here on the High School Scoreboard.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
Okay, we're back. High school football scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Back to reporters in just a moment. Want to welcome in to the high school football scoreboard one of the trustees for Black River Electric Co-op. We welcome in Ivan Sanders to the scoreboard. He, in fact, was at the Sumter and Ridgeview game tonight. Ivan, how are you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing great. And yourself?
We're doing terrific, terrific. How was the game tonight? How'd you enjoy the game between Sumter and Ridgeview?
Man, it was a great game. Sumter came out blazing, probably went up by 3 touchdowns. But Ridgeview came back and made it a game. But finally, Sumter prevailed by the score of, I think it was 29-36.
Yep, 36-29. Gamecocks by a touchdown. So let's talk about Touchstone Cooperatives and your involvement there with the Black River Electric Co-op. And exactly that particular area would be in that Sumter and Florence area, all down through there?
Yes, sir. Sumter, Manning, Camden. I'm a part of a very high-functioning board. Really, the big thing now with the rates going up, we're trying to do what's best for our members, and doing a lot of rate studies, trying to get those rates, where it's ideal for the members.
Yeah, I bet you they're happy to hear that, huh?
Yes, sir. We're doing our best down at Black River.
Yes, sir. How about the involvement with the upcoming All-Star game, the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives North-South All-Star game in Myrtle Beach, and getting around to the schools and meeting with the kids who've been selected and honoring them as we head up towards the game?
Well, this year we didn't have as many participants this year. I was down at Crestwood for our lone participant in the area, offensive lineman by the name of Aiden Mack, who's had a tremendous season over at Crestwood. He's excited. His coaches are excited to join the festivities this year.
Oh, I bet they are. How do you feel about the cooperative's involvement with high school football throughout the state, and in particular kind of peaking with the week at the beach and the presentation of the All-Star game and the presentation of Mr. Football in South Carolina?
Hey, I would tell anybody it's an experience of a lifetime, literally. I've seen families go through the process, with their kid being selected, and I still see them, in the grocery stores, and they talk about how wonderful the experience was, especially a lot of people really love when they take the younger kids on the shopping spree at Target.
Yeah,
that's a big, and it's just a wonderful event for the kids.
No question about it. I think you and I have talked. I think we've run into each other at the Target, following those kids around. It's a great afternoon to watch that unfold. And I think while the little kids have a blast, I think the big kids have a great time as well.
As well, yeah. It's a learning experience and an eye opener for everybody that participates. And speaking of the game, I think that's one of the most competitive games of the year. You get the best of the best down at the beach. Like I said, it's a wonderful experience.
It definitely is. When you go to high school games, do you mostly go to Sumter High for games, or do you go around to different schools?
I've been going this year. I've been coming back and forth from Sumter to Florence. Yep. So I've watched a lot of Wilson football, South Florence. I went to see White Knoll against. I want to say it was maybe Dutch Fork.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen a lot of good games. But tonight was probably the best game of the year for me.
Yeah, good performance, good tight game, and a good win for Sumter. Hey, we thank you very much for being with us. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I think Sumter, kind of wrapped up the region tonight.
Yeah, Sumter doing Sumter things for sure. Well, thank you for being with us, and it's great having you on, Ivan, and we'll talk to you again, and we'll see you at the beach in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
Thank you.
That's Ivan Sanders with the Black River Electric Co-op over in Sumter. You heard him say at Sumter, Florence, Manning, and all up in there. Appreciate what he does and appreciate him jumping on with us tonight. All right, we'll get to the scores. I do want to run through them, but we got a bunch of folks waiting to give us reports, so I don't want to tie them up. So Taylor Novinger, who calls games in that Sumter area for Crestwood High School, and he's joining us now, and it was a big offensive night tonight for those Knights, 56-28 over Darlington. Hello, Taylor.
Yeah, Phil, I didn't think both teams would score a total of 84 points going into this ball game. That was not on my bingo card tonight. So a lot of touchdowns for both ways. But, it all kind of started with Crestwood. They came out firing all cylinders. They were up, 14-0. Looked like everything was going their way. Then all of a sudden, Darlington's offense got going. Their quarterback made some really nice reads, really good throws, and that second quarter was dominated by Darlington, and it was 28-20 at half. Darlington was leading. And then in the second half, Crestwood's defense just comes out, lights out. Deshaun Scriven, the Shrine Bowl recipient, gets 2 interceptions. He's got 6 on a total in the year. And Jaden Martin got a pick, and the defense just dominated. Offense was able to get a couple scores. And right at the tail end of the game, Darlington's trying to punt to get rid of the ball with about 30 seconds left, and the ball goes over the punter's head, and Crestwood recovers in the end zone. So just a huge night offensively, a lot of good rushing yards from Calvin Wolford and Braden Bolts, who's starting to rack up a lot of D1 offers.
Yeah. What does this mean for Crestwood and the playoffs and the region?
So they really needed to win out. They've got Lakewood next week. Because they beat Darlington, it looks like they're going to lock in that 4th spot in the playoff. So if they take care of business next week against Lakewood, they'll be in the 4th spot, probably behind. It's going to be South Florence first, Hartsville, and then Wilson, and then it'll be Crestwood. Depending on how Hartsville and South Florence, they still got to go against each other.
Sure. Okay, Taylor, thank you, man. Great job as always. Talk to you next week. All right, thank you so much, Taylor Novinger. Crestwood, a big offensive night tonight. Let's go to Richard Sally. Back with us tonight on Orangeburg Prep. And let's see how OP turned out tonight. Richard, welcome in. What's the story?
Hey, Phil, the Indians came off a bye week, a big win over Northside the previous week, and headed down to Hampton County and played well and came up with a big win against Patrick Henry, 48-12. The scoring got started off with 7:41 to go in the first quarter. T. Riley from the Wildcat took a run for 15 yards for the first TD. Charlie Williams hits the extra point for a 7-0 lead. 4:46 to go in the first quarter. Patrick Henry responds with a 4-yard touchdown run by Luke Sobey. The extra point fails, 7-6 OP. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Council Burrows takes a handoff for an 11-yard touchdown run. Williams' extra point is good, 14-6 OP. 9:39 to go in the second quarter. Jasiri Parker runs 65 yards for another touchdown. Williams' kick fails, 20-6 OP. Then in the second quarter, 4:27 to go. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on a 10-yard touchdown pass. Williams' kick is good, 27-6. A minute and 23 to go in the second quarter. Williams again hits T. Riley on a 20-yard TD pass. Williams kicks good, 34-6. Opening kick of third quarter. Council Burrows returns the kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown. Kick is good, 41-6. And end of scoring for OP, 5:14 to go in the third. Chris Jackson on a 1-yard run. Charlie Williams kicks good, 48-6. Patrick Henry scores late in the fourth quarter. Kai Sobey on an 11-yard TD run. The kick fails. Final score, 48-12, Orangeburg Prep.
Richard, thank you very much. Congratulations to OP. Hey, got the playoffs for Skeeza coming up, starting next week maybe?
Well, next week we've got one region matchup against Thomas Sumter that'll determine the third spot. So hopefully with a win, Orangeburg Prep will be playing the loser of the Bethesda PD Academy game. Not sure if you got a score on that one tonight, but that's a big game. So we'll see what happens there. And then the playoffs begin that following week.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Have a great night, and appreciate the story. Yeah, I do not have PD Bethesda yet, but we are seeking it. And we'll be back. More reports, more scores coming up after this break on the High School Scoreboard.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Answering the call. Running in when everything you feel says run out. Pushing yourself beyond your known limits to help. Living to tell the story. Visit scvolunteerfire.org.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. Tropical storm Melissa is nearly stationary in the central Caribbean, with forecasters warning it could soon strengthen and brush past Jamaica as a powerful hurricane. Catastrophic flooding and landslides are likely in southwest Haiti in the coming days. Forecasters say the storm's slow movement will mean days of exposure to heavy rain and strong winds. No National Guard troops are expected to be deployed in Portland for at least several days after a temporary federal appeals court decision earlier Friday, meanwhile, a judge in Washington is weighing whether to pull more than 2,000 troops off the streets of the nation's capital. Troop deployment remains blocked in the Chicago area as well. A photo taken by an Associated Press photographer after the brazen daylight robbery at Paris Louvre Museum is generating an online buzz. In his photo showing French police officers, Thibault Camos also has a well-dressed man in a fedora, coat, and suit in his frame. This is SRN News.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
Today we're stepping behind the curtain of the roofing industry, and you'll discover a show most homeowners never get to see. When bad weather rolls in, many out-of-town and even some in-town roofing companies spring into action, not to protect homes, but to chase profits. They hold team sales meetings, mapping out neighborhoods like their battle plans. They train door-knocking crews with scripts, rehearse sales pitches, high-pressure tactics, all designed to get a signature, but not to build trust. That's the side of the business other roofers don't want you to see. But Bergen Roofing, well, they're different. Bergen doesn't send out door knockers to pressure you into some deal after a storm. In fact, Bergen only knocks on a door if they've been invited by you, the homeowner, who has scheduled an appointment. That's the way they've done business in this community for years. And it's one of the many reasons Bergen is known as your neighborhood roofer. So when the storm clouds clear and the doorbell rings, ask yourself, is this someone behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz? That's the Bergen difference. Call Bergen today, 798-ROOF. That's 798-ROOF.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American-made for life.
Hey y'all, this is Ted at Flight Deck Restaurant. We at Flight Deck Restaurant would like to honor those that sacrifice so much for our community. We are now offering 20% discount for all law enforcement officers, first responders, active duty military, hospital workers, ministers, chaplains, rabbis, and priests will receive 20% off your meal for all those that serve. Flight Deck Restaurant wants to thank you for all that you do to keep us safe, healthy, and free. Just show your ID and enjoy a great meal for 20% off. Flight Deck Restaurant in Lexington. Thanks, y'all, and God bless.
I'm here.
All right, we're back on the High School Football Scoreboard, Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. For you folks hanging on, hang on. We're going to get to you in just a second. I do need to run through our scores once again to cover everything. So here we go. In the upstate tonight, Abbeville 55, Dixie 7, Belton Honeypath 52, Pendleton 22, Berea 24, Travelers Rest 21, Clinton 48, Blacksburg 7, Daniel 66, Blue Ridge 21, Mountain View Prep 55, Broome 12, Burns 42, Spartanburg 7, Ware Shoals 40, Calhoun Falls 12, Crescent 45, Chesney 36, Southside Christian 31, Christ Church nothing, Dorman 20, Gaffney nothing, Eastside 42, Wade Hampton nothing, Fountain Inn 35, Emerald 31, Greenwood 56, J.O. Man 14, Hillcrest 45, Greenville 14, Liberty 40, Landrum 15, Malden 49, Woodmont 13, 96-42, American Leadership nothing, Seneca 48, Pickens 14, Powdersville 42, Carolina nothing, Riverside 27, Boiling Springs 20, Wren 58, Southside nothing, St. Joseph 42, Palmetto 21, T.L. Hanna 31, Easley 14, Westside 41, Lawrence 9, Walhalla 35, West Oak 7, Woodruff 31, Chapman 10. Rock Hill I-77 Football City Corridor. Cheraw 51, Buford 21. Rock Hill 16, Catawba Ridge 7. Central 47, Chesterfield nothing. Clover 21, Nation Ford 17. Indian Land 20, Fort Mill 16. Louisville 69, Great Falls nothing. North Central 17, Andrew Jackson 7. South Point 42, Dreher nothing. York 28, Richland Northeast 14. CSRA, Gray Collegiate 48, Aiken nothing. Strom Thurmond 20, Saluda 14, Wagner Sally 20, Wilson Elko 8. We are looking for South Aiken Midland Valley and Calhoun County Ridge Spring Monetta. Assuming they played, if you got the score, text it to us. Phone number 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847. Midlands, Bamberg Earhart 63, Allendale Fairfax nothing. North Augusta 56, Brooklyn Casey 12. Camden 43, Lancaster 21. Irmo 48, Chapin 6. Eau Claire 22, Columbia 18. Crestwood 56, Darlington 28. Dutch Fork 37, River Bluff nothing. Barnwell 20, Edisto 6. Gilbert 55, Airport 3. Newberry 37, Keenan 6. White Knoll 37, Lexington 6. South Florence 57, Lower Richland 7. Lugoff Elgin 21, Spring Valley 14. Mid Carolina 38, Chester 35. Batesburg Leesville 60, Pillion 14. Sumter 36, Ridgeview 29. Swansea 24, Fox Creek 13. West Florence 17, Westwood 7. PD Grand Strand, Andrews 40, Burke 6. Atlantic Collegiate 12, East Clarendon 6. Aner 42, Georgetown 20. Carolina Forest 51, Myrtle Beach 20. Carvers Bay 33, Johnsonville 14. Dillon 41, Waccamaw 17. West Columbus, North Carolina 49, Green Sea Floyd's 14. Hartsville 51, Lakewood nothing. Lamar 53, C.A. Johnson 8. Latta 54, Hannah Pamplico 31. Loris 49, Marlboro County 14. Marion 41, Manning 6. Lee Central 41, McBee 6. Kingstree 34, Mullins 14. St. James 20, North Myrtle Beach 17. Socastee 38, Conway 19. Low Country, Scotts Branch 20, Baptist Hill 14. May River 10, Beaufort 6. Berkeley 30, Lucy Beckham 9. Cross 52, Bethune-Bowman nothing. Hunter Conard Tyler 46, Blackville Hilda nothing. Bishop England 28, Bluffton 24. Cane Bay 42, Goose Creek 7. Hilton Head 44, Colleton County 14. Fort Dorchester 64, Stall 6. Hampton County 62, Well Branch 12. Hanahan 43, North Charleston 8. James Island 28, Ashley Ridge 21. Philip Simmons 22, Timberland nothing. Military Magnet 46, St. John 7. Stratford 30, Wando 28. Somerville 42, West Ashley 14. Woodland 56, Academic Magnet 7. Orangeburg Wilkinson 48, Battery Creek 8. We're looking for Branchville and Hardyville if they indeed played tonight. And if you got the score, text it to us, 803-900-4847. Around Skeeza, Carolina Academy 30, Thomas Hayward 27. Greenwood Christian 48, Clarendon Hall nothing. Anderson Cavaliers 18, Clear Dot Charter 7. Dorchester Academy 28, Colleton Prep 14. Greenville Hurricanes 49, Asheville Christian 7. Hammond 27, Ben Lippen nothing. Heathwood Hall 35, Camden Military 12. Holly Hill Academy 56, Cross Schools 12. Jefferson Davis 74, Kings Academy 72. Got to love that 8-man. Lee Academy 50, St. John's Christian 21. Florence Christian 35, Northside Christian 6, Palmetto Christian 44, Cathedral Academy 26, Orangeburg Prep 48, Patrick Henry 12, Porter Gould 57, Cardinal Newman 8, Lawrence Academy 78, Richard Wynn 64, Wilson Hall 42, Thomas Sumter 12, Lawrence Manning 37, Trinity Collegiate 20, W.W. King 48, Newberry Academy 6. Okay, those are the scores. We've got everything in except for those we just called for, except for a couple of other SCISA scores. So let's go back to the folks standing out in the fields tonight. We appreciate your patience. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing all the scores. We go to, is it Todd Helms next from Mountain View Prep? Okay, Coach Todd Helms. He's not the coach, but he's like the head honch at Mountain View Prep, MVP with the win tonight. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Phil. Yeah, man, we bounced back this week and got a big win at Broome. MVP won 55-12. Quarterback Mac Anderson had another big night, Phil. He threw for over 200 yards and rushed for over 100 and several touchdowns. Also, wide receiver Katie Hainsworth, Phil, had a big night again. He's a senior. He had over 100 yards receiving and several touchdowns as well. Really surprised that kid didn't make an all-star game. He's got a bunch of D1 offers. I think he's committed to Charlotte, got Coastal and Liberty and some others that have offered him. But had the fastest time at the Rivals camp this summer, laser time, in the country at 4.35, Phil, which that kid can go. But big night for MVP again. I wanted to give a shout-out to Coach Gray Ramsey and his staff. They've done something in 2 years, Phil, my other two schools that I started didn't do, and that's Gray Collegiate Academy and Oceanside. It took those schools about 3 years to turn the corner. A lot of people don't remember. Gray won 2 games the first year. Oceanside won 0. No games the first year. And Gray and these guys, they went 12-1 last year, lost the Upper State Championship to Belton Honea. Right now, in 2 years, they're 8-1 this year. They're 20-2 in the last 2 seasons and counting. And to do that coming out of the gate, I want to give kudos out to those guys. But it's been another great year for MVP.
Oh, it sounds like it. I got to ask you real quick. Your son, some folks may not know this, but your son is back at Clemson working sort of as a coach, but like a backup quarterback. Why did he choose number 99 for his uniform?
Well, Phil, yeah, he came back to be a coach. Dabo offered him an opportunity, and right before the season, they called him in and told him he didn't realize he had another year of eligibility, so he told him he was back on full scholarship. He was going to be an emergency quarterback, and he was going to be a player coach. Funny story, the basketball player, you probably know his name better than I do. I just drew a blank that's playing tight end now, took the number 18 that he had the whole time while he was there, first time around. And so he asked him what numbers they had, available, and no quarterback numbers were available. One of the numbers were 99, and he jokingly said, "Give me 99, I'll be the first Clemson quarterback to ever wear number 99." So he's wearing that. But
well, he's got to get into a game so number 99 shows up in the stats.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. But he's had a great career at Clemson. You know, he was number 2 to a lot of good ones like Lawrence and DJ Uiagalelei and Cade before he went to Rhode Island and started up there and had a record season for them. But just too cold up there, wanted to come back. Wants to be a college coach, and Dabo offered him that opportunity. But he has 2 degrees from Clemson, and he's finishing his MBA now. So I tell people he got all that from his mama's side of the family. They're all doctors, lawyers, engineers on that side, and a lot smart enough. My side's a bunch of roughnecks, Phil. But great kid. Great kid despite his dad. That's what I tell everybody.
He overachieved from that standpoint. Hey, Todd, thank you so much. Keep in touch with us as we continue with the season.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too, man. Thank you very much. Okay, Todd Helms. Let's go to the state newspapers. Lou Bajak, Scoop, joining us now. He was at that Sumter High game tonight, so he got a good look at Sumter High and Ridgeview. Sumter wins a good one, a tight one, 36-29. Scoop, welcome in. How are you?
Pretty good, Phil. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. How did the Gamecocks pull this one out?
A lot of Franklin Richardson, the quarterback. He had 4 touchdowns and the game winner with 2:01 on the clock. And then Ridgeview drove it down to the 20, and then the last play was an incomplete pass in the end zone. And they were able to hold on. And like I said, Sumter was up 21-0 late in the second quarter. Ridgeview scored in the first, right before halftime, then the first 2 drives in the second half take the lead. Then it was just back and forth, each team scoring, and Ridgeview took the lead. Spencer Bobin had 3 touchdowns, gave them the lead with 6.5 minutes left, but Sumter was able to just answer, and they were most of the night. Franklin Richardson, really good game. I don't know what his final numbers were, but 4 touchdowns. I think he has 26 rushing touchdowns on the season, and Sumter clinches the region championship, I think the 9th in 11 years for Mark Barnes, and Ridgeview was looking for their first one since 2007, but will end up finishing second in the region behind Sumter.
Now, Richardson, is he part of that Sumter-Richardson football family?
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's related with all those guys. What was it, Wally and who was the other one?
There was another one.
Yeah, Wally, and then the other, the one that was at Coastal, I think. Yeah. And then, I don't know, but he's good. He's a junior, and they run the ball a lot. Barnes says they should throw it a little bit more, but, I mean, the way they ran the ball, and their offensive line did a great job blocking, especially on those the final 2 scoring drives.
Okay, so you got the big one next week. How much of a build-up are you going to have in the state and the state.com building up to Irmo and Dutch Fork?
It's huge, yeah. We did a big one last year, and last year was the first time they'd played in a while. They'd stopped playing, but now 2 straight years, big stakes, the region championship on the line, number 1 seeds on the line, home field advantage, I think, in their respective, because Irma's Division II and Dutch Fork's 1. It's going to be huge. I think Irma likes their chances a little bit more the way they're playing. I think two guys that know each other so well. They were obviously Aaron Brand, coach with Knots, and I think it's going to be a great ball game. The atmosphere last year was electric. The place was packed, and I think Hawkins Stadium is going to be packed next Friday night.
Yeah, and of course the thing is that they don't play in the same division for state championships. So for them, between these two, bragging
it's
rights,
huge,
and and sort of like, hey, this is our state championship between these two rivals.
Yeah, it is, and they're going to treat it that way. I know Dutch Fork. Yeah, I think they're going to treat it that way. I know Irma really wants that. Last year's game they thought let it slip away, but it should be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to it. Get there early, and just I think just the talent. You got Division I talent all over the field, and it was last year, and same with it this year.
Scoop, we thank you so much. Have a great week. Look forward to reading your stuff leading up to that game, man. Thanks for being with us. Talk to you next week.
All right, Phil. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Okay, Lou Bajak from the state. Follow his coverage as well leading up to that game. It's the big game in the state next week. I don't think there's any doubt about that. There'll be some other good ones, but that's going to be the big boy. Kind of reminds me of, was it 10, 15 years ago, Richland Northeast and Spring Valley playing. But that was actually a playoff game. I think it was a state semifinal game. That was so huge between those two that packed Perrone Stadium that night. Okay, we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Coach. Gators loose. Gators loose. Gators lose and fire the coach. Fire the coach. Fire the coach. All right. I apologize for playing a loser's fight song at the tail end of the program. Let's whip through these final reports. Thanks to everybody who is with us. Cole Bryson, voice of Burns. Thank you for joining us. Big win for the Rebels tonight. They played some defense tonight, did they not?
42-7 final score, Phil, over Region Foe Spartanburg. You talk about a lot of history between these two. I don't think anybody saw that one coming tonight, Phil. You're right. They played defense, and it was a pick six, the 7 points. And I'll give you one stat real quick, if you don't mind. Through 8 quarters, the past 8 quarters, the Burns Rebels defense has not allowed a single point in 8 quarters of play. So the past 8 quarters, this Burns defense has been phenomenal. A big win tonight, 42-7 over a Spartanburg team without Trenton Lynch. Obviously, that makes a difference. But, man, It was total domination for the Rebels tonight.
Cole, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Talk to you next week. Who's on the agenda next week?
Boiling Springs, and real quick, don't want to forget Trey Segura, who's, Phil's, been offered by pretty much everybody. 4-star running back, junior running back out of Burns. Career high tonight, 17 carries, 255 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I know he just got offered by Miami, Penn State, and I believe Michigan last week. So he's the hottest running back in the state right now.
I think you're right. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend.
See you, man. You too.
Take care. Appreciate it. Cole Bryson, voice of Burns. Let's go to Ford Simmons with a Skeeza update on the Thomas Hayward game tonight. Old Thomas Hayward down there in Ridgeland. Hey, Ford, thanks for joining us.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me. I made the trip from West Ashland to Lake City to see my cousin play at Carolina Academy, his final home game. It was a really tight ball game. Carolina Academy was up 3 touchdowns at the beginning, and then second half, Thomas Hayward just ripped it back in with their running back, Tony O'Banner, who's really impressive, 6'1", 220. I think he's got an offer from Liberty. He's something else. But they came roaring back, but luckily Carolina Academy scored a touchdown with about 2 minutes left, and Thomas Hayward fumbled, and Carolina Academy clinches the playoff berth. And they're very excited on senior night, and they had a helicopter ball drop. It was a great night, and just want to shout out my cousin Chandler Prosser for his final game. Thanks for having me, Phil.
Thank you. Great job on that. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Carolina Academy, going to the postseason. Let's go to Travis Jenkins, joining us now, News and Observer, up there in the Chester area. And what game did you hit tonight, sir?
I was at Louisville Great Falls, and one correction, Phil. Florida won and then fired their coach.
That's true. Good point.
Thank you for defending me, Travis.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about in this game. It was 69-0, the biggest win in the history of the rivalry between the two county schools. Jacorium House had 3 touchdowns, but it was 21-0 3 minutes in, 56-0 at halftime. But what the win for Louisville does is set up a huge region championship game next week. When you looked at the schedule, you figured this might be how it played out, and it is. They'll go to Lamar next week. Lamar comes in, I think, on a 6-game win streak. Louisville comes in on a 4-game win streak. They've averaged 66 a game in their last 3. And if I'm not mistaken, the winner of that one, they win the region, they get a number 1 playoff seed, and they're home out in the playoffs. So huge stakes on the line next week down in Darlington County.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Talk to you next week, and let's get to last but not least, Chris Deering, who watched Cross tonight just blow it up on Bethune-Bowman 52-0. Some impressive athletes there for Cross for sure.
Absolutely. Phil, I got to correct you on the score. It was 66-14.
Okay.
Was the win.
Thank you.
And, Caden Ramsey, the South Carolina commit, the tight end commit from Cross, did not touch the ball many times, but when he did touch the ball, he made the most of it. He scored 4 touchdowns tonight, 2 receiving touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and he ran a kickoff back 26 yards for another score. And then the junior running back for Cross, Mekhi Green, he had a good night, 187 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, all in the second half. Really, really big outing for Cross, and now that sets up a region matchup against Baptist Hill for Region 5A region championship.
Sounds like you're driving around in the low country of South Carolina, breaking up there, but we got most of that, and it was good. We thank you, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You do the same, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, Chris Deering. That will do it. If you missed any of the scores, everything will be posted on our website, sportstalksc.com. Thanks to everybody who called in, everybody who played, coached, refereed, and attended high school football tonight in the state. Thank you, Josh. Have a great weekend.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. The government shutdown's impact at airports is reaching new levels.
The head of the Air Traffic Controllers Union, Nick Daniels, says some controllers have taken on second jobs with DoorDash or Uber to earn some cash.
That leads to an unnecessary distraction, and they cannot be 100% focused on their jobs.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says more controllers have been calling in sick. His message to them:
I want you to show up. Please come to work. And I'm grateful for you to come to work.
Duffy says disruptions and delays will only get worse after Tuesday, which is usually payday.
And they got notice that their paycheck is going to be a big fat zero.
I'm Ed Donahue.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio yesterday toured a U.S.-led center in Israel overseeing the Gaza ceasefire. Rubio says the coordination center will help with humanitarian assistance for Gaza.
It involves bringing together all the nation states that are offering to provide personnel and resources. So structuring what that stabilization force will look like, lining up all the countries that are willing to provide either money or personnel or a combination of both.
Rubio was the latest in a series of top U.S. officials to visit the Center for Civilian and Military Coordination. The U.S. is expanding the use of facial recognition.
It means more technology to track non-citizens entering and leaving the country in order to combat visa overstays and passport fraud. A new regulation will allow U.S. border authorities to require non-citizens to be photographed at airports, seaports, land crossings, and any other point of departure. U.S. authorities could require the submission of other biometrics, such as fingerprints or DNA.
Correspondent Bill Alexander reporting. Tropical storm Melissa nearly stationary in the central Caribbean, with forecasters warning it could soon strengthen and brush past Jamaica as a powerful hurricane, causing catastrophic flooding and landslides. News and analysis at townhall.com.
If you have an IRA or 401k, this is a message you really need to hear. In just the last 2 years, the price of 1 troy ounce of silver has more than doubled, up over 100%, and silver is now poised for major gains in the months ahead. Call Advantage Gold at 800-741-GOLD to learn how to convert a portion of your retirement assets into physical silver and position yourself for the next wave of growth in precious metals. It's not too late to leverage the power of silver to help secure your financial future. With the devaluation of the U.S. dollar and volatility in the stock market, silver continues to be a safe haven asset that investors trust. When you call 800-741-GOLD, you'll get your free precious metals rollover guide, plus a copy of former IMF Chairman Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. The time is now to consider adding silver into the mix to protect your retirement. Call Advantage Gold at 800-741-4653. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Correspondent Lisa Dwyer reports on a theft ring out of Syracuse, New York, who would steal rental cars and